All right. I'm feeling like I need to give more. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into crypto, the new financial system. I'm developing my direction in how I create these videos. The stuff that I'm saying comes off the top of my head. I'm not necessarily reading. Some things I have bullet points, and I'm positioning the information off the top of my head with what I can kind of navigate from like Google and stuff like that. This information is Googleable. Shout out to Google, shout out to Gemini, right? That's a Google product. I don't know how to really put it in words, but I know they're connected. So when I type in the crypto top 10 by market cap, this is what we get. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, USD coin, Binance coin, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, Tron, right? We know that Tether, USDT, right, and USD coin, USDC, Circle, right? You have to get privy to these names. Those are stable coins. And then Binance coin, it has its own native coin to Binance, right? They're like stable coins. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, Tron, those are coins. And they're very easily referenceable. If you have the right brokerage, you should have access because of legal clarity. Now the banks, the institutions can now offer these things, right? It's very important why we need to discuss these things so that you can get privy. The more you know, the quicker you can get to the bag. We got to buy low, sell high, and stay out the middle through the basic scale of 100. But we're not here to talk about the scale. We're here to talk about futures contracts. Now, the CFTC is the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. All these videos go together. I explained it in previous videos about the CFTC because most people don't know about the CFTC, and they're buying coins, they're trading, and they're doing all this stuff in the financial world and have no idea how it works. XRP was sued. Ripple is XRP, and XRP is with Ripple. They were sued by the SEC because they were claiming that XRP was a security and not a commodity. And XRP, Ripple, beat the SEC to prove that not only is XRP a commodity, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, Tron, the names go on, that cryptos are not securities, they are commodities. And if you're a commodity, then you qualify to go to the CFTC from the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, because that's where securities belong. You now qualify through the SEC and have the authority to go over to the CFTC and gain access to your futures contracts, which will be presented in the market. How do we know this? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we can go into our accounts and look it up. I hold a WEBULL account for stocks and for crypto. So in that WEBULL account, I can go in and type. All right, I had an alert go off. Okay, it stopped the message. Now I got to catch track of what I was saying. Having the ability to go into your brokerage and look up futures contracts because it's under futures. You're not going to be under futures if you don't qualify for a futures contract. And futures contracts tells you what's going to be here in the future through the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. So this is why I'm presenting the information, because I'm in the know. I surround myself with people who know, and I pay it forward so that you can be in the know and you can make qualified decisions on things that you should be making decisions on. So as we go through WEBULL, we can see Bitcoin clearly has futures contracts because it's qualified to have futures contracts, which opens the door for ETFs. Ethereum has futures contracts. Now, Tether is a stable coin. USDC and USDT, they don't count. Binance Coin don't count. But Solana, well, let's just type it. You see that when you type it in, nothing comes up for futures because they're stable coins. They're supposed to stay at $1. That's why they're not involved in this concept. They're like digital dollars, right? So now we go to Solana. You see there's futures contracts, XRP, futures contracts, Dogecoin. Now look at Doge. You see how it's spelled? You can't spell it like, well, that's how they have it spelled. But it's DOG. So if you type some names, you have to type a specific way, and then it'll come up. So Cardano. Now Tron doesn't have a futures contract. It's a highly touted coin, yet it doesn't have a futures contract. Am I typing it wrong? Is there another way to type it? I'm not sure. We'll figure that out down the road. Now look, I can type Avalanche. Avalanche is not on the top 10. So why does Avalanche have a futures contract? Shiba Inu. If I type Shiba Inu, the name don't come up. But if I type SHIB, then it does come up. And I wanted to also make a point. Well, how do we know that that's really SHIB, and how do we know that it's really Dogecoin? Because it doesn't say Dogecoin, and it only says SHIB. Well, I can go into my WeBull Pay account, because this WeBull account is only for stocks. But WeBull Pay is for crypto only. So all I have to do is look at the price and then go to the real coin and see the price. So I just wanted to promote this, since everything that I'm doing with my videos right now are introductions into becoming knowing of all the aspects that come with trading and investing. And it's all based on the scale of 100. Knowing how to buy low and sell high and stay out the middle. That's my goal, is to get people on the train. I'm like the second coming of Harriet Tubman, saving the slaves for the people and not the profits. Hey,